Good morning, children of the Most High. My name is Chukwuemeka, and this is the Ebu Hebrews organization. This is the Igbo people who have realized that the Igbos in Nigeria, southeastern Nigeria, are the true Hebrews of the Bible. And both the Igbos here in Nigeria, both those who are in diaspora and those who have been sold as slaves. And so we try to guide our step back to the worship of our God. We've abandoned Christianity, we've left Islam, we don't practice Judaism, we practice what we call Hebrewism, where we return to the true worship of the God of the Bible. Children of God, I have bad news for you today. I want to remind you that you are born into a war. I know you look at the world, there's war in the Middle East, there's this and that, yeah, but I want to remind you that the war you see in the Middle East is far less than the one that is being waged on the whole world. You are born in the middle of that war, and I want to show you that today from the scripture. No matter the length of this video, we may divide it into different parts. Please make sure you see all of them, because it's important for you to realize that an external celestial entity has declared war on you. An external entity has declared war on you, on your soul. And the earlier you realize that, the better for everyone. So, okay, children of God, let's start from the book of Genesis. Genesis chapter 3 in verse 14. The Most High said, "And the Lord God said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life." Verse 15, it says, "And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. And it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel." Brothers and sisters, this is the declaration of war that the Most High made. You see, the war between the enmity between the serpent and the woman. Brothers and sisters, each and every one of us is born of a woman. The Most High said, "I'll put a battle between your seed," that's the seed of the serpent, "and the seed of the woman." Each and every one of us is born of a woman. I know in the Christian churches they tell you is enmity between Christ and Satan. That's not correct. The enmity is between every one of us born of a woman. It says the seed of a woman and the seed of the serpent. The question today is, what is the seed of, who are the seeds of the serpent? And brothers and sisters, I will show you that today. The serpent seed. Let's go into the book of Enoch so that we understand this. We've seen it in Genesis. It mentioned the serpent seed. Let's go to the book of Enoch, brothers and sisters. The book of Enoch, chapter 6. "And it came to pass, when the children of men had multiplied in those days, were born to them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the sons of heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and have children with them. And Samjaza, who was their leader, said to them, I fear you will not agree to this deed, and I alone shall pay the penalty of this great sin. And they all answered him and said, Let us all swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual curses, so we will not abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then they all swore together and bound themselves by mutual curses." Now, brothers and sisters, these are the fallen angels. These angels were known as the Watchers. They watch over the affairs of man. They are not archangels. They are not too high up in heaven, but they are really high. They have a lot of powers, enormous powers that have been bestowed on them by the Most High. So they saw the daughters of men, and they were beautiful, and said, Let us go unto them. Brothers and sisters, I want you to know, this fallen angel is not Satan. Satan has already fallen long before them. Okay? Now, these are angels that are supposed to be watchers. They saw the children of men, and they said, okay, let us go after them. Let's have children. Okay? Let's see that in the Bible. For those of you who are skeptical, brothers and sisters, let's go to one of the strongest prophets we had in the nation of Israel. This is the prophet Isaiah, or what they call Isaiah. That's Isaiah. It's the same name as what they call Israel today. It's the same name. It's Israel. So if we go to the book of Isaiah in chapter 14, a very powerful chapter, brothers and sisters, Isaiah chapter 14. It talks about how Satan fell. Satan fell before the fallen angels. Satan fell because he was proud and he wanted to assume the position of the Most High. So he was kicked out. Let's see it in the scriptures. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. Brothers and sisters, this is the only place in the Bible where the name of Satan is given. So let's see it in the Bible. It said, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which this weakens the nations? For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend unto heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation, in the sides of the north." In the sides, brothers and sisters, what they call sides of the north is the location, the geographical location of heaven. Satan now was not in heaven. He was not at the top of heaven, but he was a shining star. He had a very strong position among the angels. Now he had pride in him, and because the Most High give all his creatures free will. You can think whatever, you are free to decide whatever you want. That's what the Most High does. He gives everyone free will. Satan wanted to ascend to the level of the Most High, to be God above the angels and everything. So iniquity was found in him. And that's why he was kicked out from heaven. That's why Isaiah wrote it there, "How has that fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?" Okay, this is also chronicled in the book of Enoch, and we're going to see it. So Satan fell, and when he fell alone. First of all, alone. He was alone. He was the one that is responsible for tempting Eve, for making Eve take the fruit. Adam and Eve take the fruit. He alone cannot exert his influence on all the creatures of God, but he was alone for a while, and that's what we're seeing here. Okay. He said, verse 14, he said, "I will ascend above the heights of the cloud. I will be like the Most High." This is what he wanted. He wanted to be like the Most High. Verse 15, he said, "Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit." So he wants to stay in the sides of the north, but he will be brought down to the sides of the pit, as you see. So brothers and sisters, that's how Satan fell before the fallen angels fell. Now let's go to the book of Enoch and see how the fallen angels fell and the repercussions of that. Again, brothers and sisters, we are tracing the seed of the serpent, because if you don't understand, if you know that there is a war between you and you, who is the seed of the woman, and the serpent seed, you need to know who you're fighting. You need to know the person you're battling against, because brothers and sisters, the serpent seed, they know you. You are the one who don't know them. So let's see if we can figure out who these people, this serpent seed, who they are. Okay, let's go to the book of Enoch. Enoch chapter 7. In chapter 7 it said, "And all of them went and took wives for themselves, each choosing one for himself. And they began to go into them and to defile themselves with sex with them. And the angels taught them charms and spells and cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. And the woman became pregnant, and they bare large giants, whose height was 3,000 cubits." 3,000 cubits is just about 1.5 kilometers, brothers and sisters. Imagine the power of these angels, that their children will be 1.5 kilometers tall. Okay, that's when you understand that these things used to exist on this planet. Then dinosaurs will seem like rats. If you are 1.5 kilometers tall, dinosaur is like a rat to you. Then you can build the Stonehenge, the pyramid. All these ancient monuments. You can really build them. If you're 1.5 kilometers tall, those things are like playing with sand dunes. So these are things that exist in the world. That's why when you see these ancient artifacts, they were not built like by human beings like you and me. No, they were built by the fallen angels. They were built by the children of these fallen angels, and we're going to see that. Okay. Now in verse 8, let's go to verse 8. Enoch chapter 8. It said, And Azazel taught men to make swords, knives, shields, and breastplates, and taught them about the metals of the earth, and the art of working them, and bracelets, and ornaments, and the use of antimony, and the beautifying of the eyelids, and all kinds of precious stones, and all coloring tinctures and dyes. And there was great impiety, and they turned away from God, and committed fornication, and they were led astray, and became corrupt in all their ways. This is just one angel, Azazel, that taught man mining, excavations on the planet, beautifying the eyelids, fashion, makeup, and immorality, fornication, and everybody was corrupted in their ways. So, brothers and sisters, this and again, I'll recommend you go and read the book of Enoch from chapter 6 to chapter 10, so that you understand what these fallen angels were teaching their children and the women they were having sex with. And then they not only that, they defiled the beasts, the birds, and everything. They defiled the creatures of God. The Most High created the planet and said, "This is beautiful." Anything that is beautiful in the eyes of the Lord is exquisitely beautiful. But these people, these creatures, these beings came in and destroyed, because they gave birth to giants that were not meant to be created. These giants had nothing but evil and lustfulness in them, and they brought moral decay and corruption in the world today. But don't take it from me, brothers and sisters. We are tracing the seed of the serpent. Let's take it from the mouth of the Most High himself, here in the book of Enoch. Okay, let's in chapter 9, and I'll be reading this selectively. You can go and read the whole thing so that you understand it. I'll read it selectively to highlight the points here. In chapter 9, it said, "And then Micaiah, Uriah, Rephaiah, and Gabriel looked down from heaven and saw much blood being shed on the earth, and all lawlessness being done on the earth. And they said to each other, Let the cries of the destruction of the earth ascend up to the gates of heaven. And now to you, the holy ones of heaven, the souls of men make their petition, saying, Bring our cause before the Most High." Brothers and sisters, as these angels were destroying man, and if you read Enoch chapter 8, in verse 3, it says, "And as men perished, they cried, and their cry went up to heaven." So as these fallen angels and their inventions and their intentions were destroying mankind, mankind cried, and their cry went up to heaven. And these angels heard it. The holy angels, Micaiah, Gabriel, Rephaiah, they heard this, and they went to the Most High, brothers and sisters. So they went to the Most High and complained to the Most High. They said, "Look at what these fallen angels have done. Look at what they have taught mankind. They have really totally made a mess of your beautiful creation." Then I asked God, what do you need us to do about this? Again, the angels don't do things unless they get the permission from the Most High. He said, "Tell us what to do about them. Let us take care of things." Okay. Then, and this is the most important part of the book of Enoch. Book of Enoch chapter 10, brothers and sisters. It says, "Then said the Most High, the great and holy one, Uriah, go to the son of Lamech, say to him, go to Noah and tell him in my name, hide yourself, and reveal to him the end that is approaching, that the whole earth will be destroyed, and a flood is about to come on the whole earth, and will destroy everything in it." So, brothers and sisters, the first thing the Most High did was to protect his people. He didn't say, "No, go and catch those angels that are committing this and bind them." No, that one will come. But the first thing he did is to protect his people. And his person on the planet that time was Noah. So when these angels went to the Most High and said, "What do we do about this?" the Most High looked at Uriah. Uriah is the angel that people call Uriel. His real name is Uriah. And he said, "Uriah, go to Noah and tell him to hide himself. Let him be apart." Brothers and sisters, the scriptures tell us in the book of Isaiah that we should come out of her and be ye different. Set yourself apart from the madness of the world. This is the message the Most High told Uriah to tell Noah. Okay, hide yourself in my name, because this planet will be destroyed. Brothers and sisters, that same message is resonating today. This planet is headed for destruction. Everybody knows that. Keep yourself apart. Come out of her and be ye separate. In the name of the Most High, Asha, Aya. Now, that's the first thing the Most High did. But let's continue to see when he passed the judgment on the fallen angels. But before he did that, he instructed the angel Uriah to protect his people. The Most High does that, for he protects his people. May the Most High of Majesty protect us in his most blessed name. Selah. Now, the book of Enoch, chapter 10, in verse 3, he said, and now instruct him on what he must do to escape that his offspring may be preserved for all the generations of the world. That's he was telling Uriah to tell to what he will tell Noah. Verse 4. And again the Lord said to Rephaiah, bind Azazel hand and foot, and cast him into the darkness, and split open the desert which is in Judael, and cast him in. Now, brothers and sisters, after the Most High has protected his people, Noah, he told the angel Rephaiah. The angel Rephaiah is the one people call Raphael. His name is Rephaiah. He told the angel Rephaiah to go and bind Azazel. Azazel is the fallen angel that I mentioned, taught man fornication, excavation, mining, and breastplates and destruction and doing battle. The Most High told Rephaiah to go and bind him hand and foot, cast darkness in his eyes, and cast him under the earth in a desert in what is called Judael. And I'll show you where that is now, brothers and sisters. It says, verse 5, book of Enoch chapter 10 verse 5, and said, and fill the hole by covering him with rough and jagged rocks, and cover him with darkness, and let him live there forever, and cover his face that he may not see light. Verse 6, it said, and on the day of the great judgment he shall be hauled into the fire. Brothers and sisters, if you see our video on heaven, hell, death, heaven, and hell, we mentioned that hell is empty, nobody is there. This is fallen angel. Now the Most High bound them on the planet. He bound them here until the day of judgment. That is when the Most High will destroy. Right now the Most High is a creator. He does not destroy. Until the day of judgment, when you have been judged, then you can go to either heaven or hell, and our portion is going to be heaven in the name of the Most High. But this is important to know here, that hell is empty, because these fallen angels, despite their sin, they were bound here on the planet. He said, let's know, where are these angels bound? Are they bound in your backyard? Let us find out where they are bound. Brothers and sisters, he said, the Most High said, fill, in Enoch chapter 10 verse 5, he said, fill the hole by covering him with rough and jagged rocks, and cover him with darkness, and let him live there forever, and cover his face that he may not see the light. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's go to the book of Jubilees and know where these jagged rocks, okay, these jagged rocks that the angel Rephaiah used to cover Azazel, where is it? Is it some stone, some concrete, and in front of somebody on the road? No. Let us see where it is in the book of Jubilees, brothers and sisters. We're going to the book of Jubilees. We're going to Jubilees chapter 5. One moment. Book of Jubilees chapter 5. Okay. The book of Jubilees chapter 5 verse 6, brothers and sisters. And he said, and against the angels whom he has sent on the earth, he had boiling anger, and he gave commandment to root them out of all their dominion. And he commanded us to bind them in the depths of the earth. Again, I said he bound them in this planet. They are here with us. He said he commanded them to bind them. He commanded us to bind them in the. This is the angel telling Moses. The book of Jubilees is the account the angel is telling Moses of the history that we, the Hebrews, have lost. Okay, it says, and he commanded us to bind them in the depths of the earth. And look, they are bound in the middle of the earth and are kept separate. Brothers and sisters, they are bound in the middle of the earth. Now, if you go to Google and type the middle of the land mass in this earth, it will intersect right at the Egyptian pyramid. That pyramid of Giza, that is the intersection, the middle point of the landmass of this earth. And he said the angels not only said, he said they are bound in the middle of the earth. That is that middle, that Egyptian pyramid you see there is the pyramid that was built by the angel Raphael. That it is under that place that the fallen angel Azazel is bound. He and the rest of his clique, they are bound there. Brothers and sisters, Egyptians, they are the equivalent of what you call talkative. They write everywhere. All Egyptian monuments, they write with their hieroglyphics. In the pyramid, there's not one single writing. You will know that it's not built by the same people. The pyramid is just a chunk of rock, millions of rock mounted together with total darkness inside it. This is what the pyramid is. It was built to keep the angels prisoner until the day of judgment. Brothers and sisters, it's important that you remember this, because if you don't understand this pyramid, you will not understand the children of the fallen ones. That is why today some people are doing the sign of the pyramid, what they call Illuminati, or that they are paying homage to their father that is in prison right there. And if you're doing it with them, you better be conscious of what you're doing. If you're not a child of these fallen angels, you better be conscious of what you're doing. That pyramid was built as a prison to bind Azazel and those who are bound there. And that is why you see the world powers, the dignitaries of the world, they go to the pyramid. It's just a hunk of rock. You don't see anything. They will tell you that pharaohs are buried there. Nobody is buried in the pyramid. Some people will say that the pyramid is something you use to align with the Cyrus constellation. That's total bull crap. The pyramid was built to bind the fallen angels in the middle of the earth. In the book of Jubilees, right here, Jubilees chapter 5, verse 6, they are bound in the middle of the earth, and the middle of the earth is in the pyramids. That's the middle of the landmass of this earth. Go and look it up, brothers and sisters. So that's where these fallen ones were bound. Let's keep going, brothers and sisters. We've not even scratched the surface. So that is important. This pyramid is important because they use it to pay homage to their fathers. For you to understand who the seed of the serpent is, you have to understand the pyramid. You have to understand what it stands for, and we will explain it in this teaching.